Herb, also known as Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and joining me once again is Xbox Europe's Graham Boyd.
Day one of the Electronic Entertainment Expo is a wrap, but today's show is stuffed like a digital burrito. Tasty. And we're kicking things off with a walkthrough of Call of Duty Ghosts, led by Infinity Ward's Mark Rubin.
And later, we'll be taking a look at games like Watch Dogs and The Witcher 3. Plus, we'll check out brand new IP like Project Spark, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, and The Division from Ubisoft.
Then, feel free to scream, "Go!" or do the touchdown dance. Because we've got an interview with a mastermind behind EA Sports' new next-gen lineup, from FIFA to UFC to Madden and NBA Live. And as always, this show is completely interactive. So pick up your controller, there's the Xbox One, and make your voice heard, because you'll be telling us what you want to see.
And if you missed any of day one, remember that you can watch all of our archive footage at any time right there on your console on Xbox Live. But first, here are the biggest headlines of day two.
E3 has hit the ground running with huge announcements, new trailers, and never-before-seen looks at some of the biggest upcoming games. The action kicked off at Microsoft's media briefing Monday morning. Hideo Kojima was on hand to give us a glimpse of Metal Gear Solid 5, which showed off a lot more vehicles than any fans might have expected. We also learned that there's a new Halo game headed to Xbox One. There weren't too many details, since the game won't be coming out until next year, but we do know that it's poised to take advantage of Xbox One's next-gen features, like cloud saving. Bonnie Ross from 343 Industries confirmed the next Halo game would run at 60 frames per second and showed off a brand new cinematic trailer. The media briefing also showed the worldwide debut of Titanfall, the first game from developer Respawn Entertainment. Players hop into the cockpit of fast-moving machines called Titans and then proceed to blow the crap out of each other. According to developers, you can expect to get your hands on the game in spring of 2014. Battlefield 4 had an impressive showing at this year's E3 with true next-gen visuals that wowed the crowds. Forza Motorsport 5 also dropped some jaws with crisp graphics and the announcement that the AI will adapt in real time based on cloud algorithms, which sounds pretty fancy to me. There is big news for old-school fighting game fans. Cult favorite series Killer Instinct is making a surprise comeback on the Xbox One. The franchise has been dormant for over 15 years. Dead Rising 3 is coming to Xbox One exclusively. At the media briefing, the zombie-slaying demo showed off a surprising amount of open-world action. Being able to hop in your car and drive through a zombie bloodbath? Yeah, looks like a lot of fun. The press conference also revealed that the system would arrive in November with a price tag of $499 at launch. EA made a big announcement for fans of the Force. Star Wars Battlefront is set for a triumphant next-gen return. More details are on the way. Oh, and speaking of EA, the company announced a sequel/reboot to the cult favorite Mirror's Edge. The game is set to feature a new origin story for protagonist Faith, but there's no firm release date just yet. Ubisoft showed off a brand new trailer for Rayman Legends at their press conference. The game is set to feature over 120 levels and will launch this fall. There's still plenty of news to break, and this is the very best place to experience Xbox at E3. Stay tuned.
We are actually down here right now, live inside the Microsoft booth. It is crazy in here. It is incredibly crowded. Everybody wants to get their hands on the new controller, check out the new Kinect for themselves, and get their hands on some games.
Yeah, much like you just saw in Dead Rising 3, we had to cut our way through a path of people to get here to talk about what we're talking about today. I know from what we just saw right there, Morgan, Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, we've been waiting to hear about this game for so long, and it's coming, and we're so excited about that.
But it's definitely a very beloved game. It's great to see that kind of thing back. I'm excited for Mirror's Edge. That was actually a big surprise for me to see that. I was a fan of the first Mirror's Edge, so I would love to see a reboot. Love to see strong female characters in video games once in a while, so that's cool. Also, I like to see giant Titans kicking the you-know-what out of each other, so Titanfall is kind of exciting for me, too.
Morgan, we have parkour aficionado right now. And speaking
right now, it's time to check out
Larry and Kevin. Take it away.
Thank you, sir. It's all Baby Gap, head to toe. Right now, it's time to check out the #1. Thank you. They're Baby Gap fans.
Apparently.
They love this slip
We look
fit.
great.
Right now, it's time to check out the #1 thing on my agenda today. adorable war dogs. They're so dangerous, but they're so cute.
Now, here to bring us a walkthrough of the highly anticipated game, Call of Duty Ghosts, is Mark Rubin from Infinity Ward. Mark, welcome.
Welcome, sir. Now would be a good time for that applause. And
cue
there we
applause.
go.
So,
Thanks
Mark,
for bringing
let's
the
talk
groupie,
about
Mark.
this. What has changed in the Call of Duty world since the last installment?
Well, actually, a lot, because we're actually moving towards, we kind of put Modern Warfare aside,
Okay.
and we really kind of closed that arc, that story arc, and we wanted to create a new story, a new world, and a new universe.
So you're done with modern, you're going medieval.
It's totally modern plus a few days.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Ultra future.
Ultra future. So yeah, no, what we wanted to do is actually we realized we didn't just want to create a new story with new characters. We wanted to create a new story where the world and the things that have gone on in this world, this new changed environment, are kind of part of what drives the characters and drives you as a player. So basically what we do is we start off the game with you and your brother as teenagers experience this mass event. And the mass event basically changes the U.S. as we know it. It destroys most of our government, our military.
We actually moved to the metric system.
We moved to it's devastating, absolutely devastating.
They've warned us about this for years.
And so, so that you and your brother experienced this as kids, and then, we fast forward 10 years. You've grown up in this new world where the U.S. is no longer a superpower, and that's sort of where we're building our story from. So, it really gave us a lot of emotional, tools to work with for the story.
And this wasn't, you guys sitting down, tweeting ideas back and forth. You guys brought screenwriter Stephen Gaghan on board.
No, it was all tweeting.
Oh, that was it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it was all tweeting.
Just one meeting at a Starbucks, you hash it out, you're like, good, we got a story, let's put some guns in it.
Done.
No, how rich of a world did he create for you guys?
It's been amazing. Actually, he's been working on stuff that will never make it in the game, which is, it's sad, but he's actually
He's crying
really
at a typewriter right now. Why do I do the things I do?
That would be awesome. No, it wouldn't. That's sad. I'm sorry.
No, what is it with the notion that he's just making such a vast world that you just cannot stuff it all?
He just really is going at it. And so the cool thing about Gaghan that's really different from everybody we've ever worked with from a Hollywood writer standpoint is he's actually at the studio. He has an office. He's there every day. He eats dinner with us because he stays really late. He's sitting there playing ping pong with the team. He actually is more of a team member than we've ever had with somebody we've brought into the studio. And the thing too is, he's a director as well. So he understands scenes. He understands setting up a scene and from camera angles and stuff like that. So he's actually bringing more to the game than just writing. He's actually bringing in how to set up scenes. This is how we should do this scene. Right. And he thinks about it that way, but he is actually writing a lot of stuff that will probably never make it in the game, but for him, it's just how he's sort of grasping the story.
Sure.
Mark, tell us a little bit about the levels you're showing off here at E3.
Sure. Well, the two levels I know that I think we're showing, that you're seeing here, are the first one is in the sort of the first act of the game. This is showing off that changed world. It's basically you and your brother, and of course your adorable war dog, I think is as you said, as you called him.
Yes.
Your guide dog.
Your guide dog. He's a guide dog.
He's there because I get anxiety on flights. It's very nice of him to be there.
Exactly. And so we're looking at it now.
Yeah. What are we seeing here?
This is actually you using the dog in action, and this was actually kind of a late add to the game because originally we looked at the dog as
They're play fighting guys.
It's all
an alpha. He's fine.
we actually originally had the dog as sort of just another squad member, but when we had a retired Navy SEAL come into the studio bringing his service dog with him and all the equipment. And we were like, oh, what is all this? And he explained all the equipment to us. And basically that vest that you see the dog wearing is a real vest. Right. It's got a pop-up camera that the SEAL can see through. And the dog's wearing an earpiece that he can give the dog
There's a doggy
commands.
Earpiece, just like us right here.
Just like this. Exactly. The dog has an earpiece, and the SEAL could give commands to the dog from afar, like a squad member. Further, this gets crazy. I swear I didn't believe this. The dog's wearing a collar that has these two vibration devices on the sides. And if they need to be really stealthy and really quiet, the SEAL can actually, basically with buttons, guide the dog left, right.
Kind of like pulling his.
It's like playing a video game, but
now the dog's. I'm supposed to ask this because my wife texted me earlier. What's the dog's name? She loves the dog.
Everybody seems to love the dog.
Right.
It's been amazing. So what we did with the dog's name is we wanted to give a nice nod to a very iconic character.
Okay.
And so we named the dog Riley after Simon Ghost Riley.
Okay.
So the dog's name is Riley.
There we go.
So the dog was written in, and at one point, okay, yes, it's just a squad mate, but then you saw the skiers. So you guys didn't even know throughout development that this character was going to have these abilities, that this equipment, that these tactics even existed. So you had to pivot on the fly for this.
Yeah, we did. And it was more not just the tech part, but the emotional part. So, you know, when we're talking to these Navy SEALs and they're talking about the dog and about, like one guy, I think he said, you know, I would take a bullet for my dog. And you're trying to put yourself in that position of being in a combat situation where you care that much about, you know, obviously you care about your squad mates. You know, these guys are amazing heroics, and you hear their stories about jumping on grenades and stuff. But, you know, to do the same thing for your dog, it changed us completely internally. We had to really rewrite the way we were going to do the dog.
I'm used to the dog that needs the cone on the head because it will constantly nip at stitches, and here you've got one that's taking vibrational cues to go do recon in war situations.
And ignoring squirrels, which is very difficult.
Exactly. I'm
Squirrel.
even distracted by them.
Mark, I want to talk about the underwater sequences. I'm a scuba diver.
Oh, good.
So we saw some of the footage. I think we've got some queued up right here. Tell us what that gameplay section is like and some of the innovations you've done underwater. I mean, look at that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is not something we could have done before.
Sure.
This is a level that really is taking advantage of a lot
Mr.
of
Bubbles?
new tech.
No.
There's a pineapple down there.
And so the cool thing about this is we've done kind of underwater bits, but there have always been more like just sort of intro pieces.
Sure.
And with this level, this is an entire level underwater. So that means it's got all the crazy combat that you would expect out of a Call of Duty level. So you're actually, that weapon you're using is a real weapon designed to shoot underwater. It's called an APS. And we have all this crazy combat going on. And the cool thing is we were able to do interesting sort of uses of cover. So cover isn't, you know, just in front of you anymore. It's above you or below
vertical,
you. Yeah, and so you can swim up or down.
XYZ.
And we actually have some cover that you can actually affect so that it goes up or down. So it really added a lot, I think, to gameplay for this level. And then, of course, we also have the big, spectacular Call of Duty moments that we're known for underwater.
Now, we saw underwater here on the monitor, and everyone saw it at home. But is this really showcasing some of the upgrades that you've made to the Call of Duty engine?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And this is something. A lot of the stuff that we've added, you know, a lot of it's next gen only. You're only going to see it on the Xbox One. It won't be on the Xbox 360. You know, we've got this new engine. And although it actually is going to upgrade the 360 version of the game as well, the 360 is going to benefit a lot from this new engine. It's really with the Xbox One where you're going to see all the crazy new tech. And a big one that you're going to see under here is a lot of the tessellation stuff. So, you know, the Xbox One is a more advanced graphics engine.
Sure.
And allows us to tessellate stuff. So what we've done...
What does that mean, tessellate?
Okay.
For those of at home, what is tessellation?
Or for those of us sitting right next to you, what exactly does that mean?
So an artist makes a sphere, let's say, and it's got X number of polygons on it, right? You know. So what tessellation does is it's an engine-based way of taking a polygon that an artist made and breaking it up into even smaller polygons so that you get perfectly smooth surfaces and stuff like that.
So it's kind of like they do at Subway where they break up the cheese into smaller triangles.
Totally break it up.
There you
smaller.
All right, we're going to have to wrap it up.
Like
for comparing his amazing technology to a $5 footlong, Larry.
That's a very good $5
When do we get to play it, not only on the 360, but on the Xbox One? Do you have dates?
Well, I have dates for 360.
All right.
I mean, the game ships on 11/5.
We'll take that. Now, what about
November
the Xbox
5th.
One? When's that one? I'm going to put it on my calendar. You can give it to us.
I don't
Larry's
know.
Right here.
It'll be coming out when the Xbox One comes out later
it's a launch
this year.
title. I don't know when. I actually don't know when yet.
Really, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Mark Rubin from Infinity Ward, everybody. But now, we're going to check in with Graham Boyd for a look at the open world racing game from Ubisoft. It's called The Crew.